What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Beyond the Neon Veil. I'm your host, Cousin Ryan. Today is episode 7, and this is the first time we're going to have an actual local going to be on the show. My buddy here, Dwayne, who we'll bring in a sec, has been in Las Vegas for about 12 years. We've done a lot of stuff together, but this dude has done so much more than I have in the time he's been here. And today's topic, we're going to talk about some of the golf courses here in Las Vegas. They're some of the funnest ones. I've been a few times with Dwayne. I suck. I'm just there to drink and drive the golf carts. He knows that. But we're going to go ahead and bring in this redheaded fuck, my really good friend, Dwayne. What's going on, buddy?
What's up, Ryan? Thanks for having me.
What's going on? Thanks for coming, man. I appreciate it. I'm really glad you're the first local we have here. It's exciting.
Exactly. It's pretty exciting because I get to be the one to pave the way for all my other local friends that are around.
Hell yeah, man. I plan on having more locals, but I wanted you to be the first one. You're the one I go do the most shit with and has done a lot without me too, which breaks my heart, but whatever. We'll talk about that later.
Okay. I do try to invite you to nearly everything. Let's be honest.
You do, and I'll give you that. All right, so you've been here 12 years.
Correct.
You've done a lot, but like I said in the intro, I want to talk about some of the golf courses because I know every weekend, even in the winter, you are on the fucking course.
Even in the summer, which is more impressive in Vegas. Let's be honest.
So to kind of get that started, since the summers here are so oppressive, and come August, September, those time of years, it's really hot. What is your typical tee time?
Well, so it does vary more in the summer than I would say it does in the other time of the year. Summer, it's easier to play at any point in time. My favorite, which makes me the craziest, is playing at the peak heat. So I like to tee off probably around 10. The reason for it is nobody's on the course.
Right.
So if I go by myself, I can get the entire round in and be done maybe about 3 hours. Versus playing a normal round 5 hours deep. Now I'm out of energy and more tired. The thing with playing when it's 120 degrees outside is usually about hole 15 is where I want to decide if I want to kill myself or keep playing. And you're always like getting dehydrated, and I'm a ginger, like you said, and you're gonna get sunburned if you're like me, but you're not because you never get sunburned.
Nope.
It's just a different life that we live, but you live and you learn. But if I'm playing any other time, I like to be the first tee time. 6:30, 7 in the morning is the best time to play in Vegas. Most of the year, there's no frost delay. So that's the best time to start because you can just get right out and be done by 10 or 11.
Right. The first time you ever took me golfing, our tee time, I think, was 6:30. The four of us.
And you bitched about it.
Well, it was early. It was fun. It was early. And it was during the pandemic, so we all got our own carts, and so I was there to drink and drive my own cart, which was fun. So good times.
That was an interesting time, and that's when golf shifted for Vegas. Pre-COVID, you could easily go to a course any time of day, any day, whether it be a weekday or a weekend, walk on, get a tee time. Once COVID kicked in and they closed all the bars, our favorite thing to do, they closed all the casinos. There was nothing else to do except for go golfing. And so people that had nothing else going on, they chose to go to the golf course. And so that started getting it busier and busier and busier. And now you have to start booking your tee times a week, 2 weeks in advance to even be able to get those 6:30, 7 a.m. tee times, which for me is kind of unfortunate. I'm a very spur of the moment kind of guy.
Right. Like, you want to just pick up and go golfing. You want to go shoot 18, you want to go shoot 18 first thing, I get it. So what has been your favorite course? I mean, I know there's been quite a few courses here. You've done quite a few, if not all of them.
I've done, I would say, all the public courses short of maybe one or two. Now, if we're talking within Vegas limits, favorite course would have to be, I really like Revere. So they have two courses at Revere. And the good thing with Revere is it's a challenging course, but you also get great views the entire time. So you can see the strip in the backdrop as you're teeing off, and they're not just flat fairways. You're teeing off into canyons. So when you're overlooking it, you're just seeing the fairway the fairway, and then behind the fairway is a strip that you're overlooking from behind the city. And so for the views, you can't really beat Revere. It's again not an easy course, so you're not going to have fun if you're not that good. You're probably not going to come out with less than 10 balls lost either. Hell, I lose 10 balls sometimes on that course every now and then just because it's very open in terms of desert open, not open fairways by any means. Now, you have some really nice courses here. Like I do like Valley High on the Strip, which is just like near Mandalay Bay. The cool thing with Valley High is that once you're on the course, you don't really acknowledge that you're essentially on the Strip anymore. It's quiet. You're tucked down. So as you're actually playing, you're kind of surrounded by hills. And the only time you really know that you're on the Strip is when planes fly over you landing, or you have two holes that do face the Strip. So you're teeing off on the Strip essentially at this point because it's all you can see. And it's a really well-kept course, worth it. You get caddies on the course if you want to pay the premium for it. And those are some of my favorite courses to play. Camara's a really good one out in Tuscany. It's just impossible to get tee times now as one of the cart girls became famous, so everyone wants to go there.
Oh, really?
She's on TikTok. She's TikTok famous, and she was on like TMZ and stuff.
Okay.
So she's paved the way to make that place always busy. But I don't think she's there anymore. I think she's in France or something.
Huh. That would have been good to check out. So you were saying Las Vegas area. I'm going to imagine you have other courses in Nevada, but outside of Las Vegas that you like. I'm imagining you're thinking of, oh my goodness. What's the city I'm trying to think of?
Mesquite?
Mesquite. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. So Mesquite has a legendary course. Any golfer on this podcast that ever comes along or listens to it is going to know probably the first one I'm talking about. It's going to be Wolf Creek. Wolf Creek is amazing. You are carved into a canyon, and you don't really see golf courses like this anywhere. Every single hole is picturesque. You just want to kind of stop, not even play golf anymore, but just want to look at it and take it all in. But it's hard because you're out there to play golf. I've played it twice now. Usually we go out for a birthday trip, stay the weekend at Casablanca, make it a fun weekend. But it's just a really well-kept course. It's one of those ones that everyone knows about. It's in video games. Everyone's played it before. It's challenging. It's not super easy. I've shot well both times I've played it, thankfully. I have come out victorious, too, so that's awesome. But aside from that, I highly recommend Wolf Creek because it is a good course. I do like winning, though, let's be honest.
So to let everyone know, how long is that drive from like Las Vegas to Mesquite?
It's actually not that bad. It was 45 minutes to an hour going the speed limit. So if you got a heavy foot, you'll get there in 30 minutes, 45 minutes.
So you'd say for people who come to visit, the spot they can easily go play at and then come back. Yeah.
I mean, you want to plan for it because if you're going to go golf, you're not going to want to go golf and then drive back to Vegas most likely. Now the hotel casino that they have there is extremely cheap though. Mm-hmm. The Casablanca is the main one. They have a decent little steakhouse inside. Now, granted, I don't know anything about the steak. They have a pretty good vegetarian pasta salad, though, that, hey, I can recommend. But I hear the steak is really good, too, and great prices compared to Vegas. And the casino, I mean, you're playing dollar bets versus $25 minimums at the table. So it's a little bit more ways to have fun with less money.
You know, I really actually like the Casablanca because not only is it a cool hotel spot, all those things, but that pool area with and they have stage there for concerts and shit too. So, have you never noticed that?
No.
Yeah, they're sometime during the year they do concerts outside by that pool. So, something you should check out. At least they did prior to pandemic.
I highly recommend the spa over there as well because the spa is really nice, right behind the pool.
Oh yeah, yep, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And for those that are watching, you can do a $99 stay and play or a stay and spa package for the wife. That way, for $99, you get the hotel room and a round of golf, and then the hotel room or a spa package. Make it a little weekend out of it. And the golf is not Wolf Creek, unfortunately. The Wolf Creek would be a little bit more, probably a lot more depending on when you go. But that's something to look forward to.
What So there's Wolf Creek, and then there's the one for Casablanca. Have you played the Casablanca course?
No, I have not.
Okay.
I want to go back. It does look like a nice course. So Mesquite has a ton of nice courses. I wouldn't mind going back to play any of those courses. I just typically go with the intent of playing Wolf Creek. So maybe next time I go out there, I'll look to play maybe 2 courses even, because if I'm in Mesquite, I'm playing Wolf Creek at least once.
Right. So those are the ones in Mesquite. And again, I'm a big fan of Mesquite. It's growing. So those of you watching never been here, go check out Mesquite. Just the hotels itself, the casino, the pool, the golf, but also just the area itself. It's just right, 10 minutes, 15 minutes from the border of Utah. You can just cross over into it. It's a cool area. It's really nice, and it's growing. So go check it out if you get a chance.
And it's quieter than the Strip. So if you want to get the same kind of, you can gamble and do some kind of debauchery in like a country feel, maybe Mesquite's your spot. And it's not really Laughlin, so you're not dealing with a bunch of older crowd.
And I know there's a lot of spots down there too that have quads and that go out into the desert. So I know that they do a lot of tours down there too. That's huge there.
To revert back to the main point of Vegas, if you go right outside the city limits of Vegas, you can do the same thing with four-wheeling and quads right by the racetrack.
Right, that's right. South on 15. Yeah, I've done that a few times. We've gone out on my with my uncle and his Razor and stuff like that. It's a really cool time, especially if you go out towards where the ghost town is. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff out that way too. So I don't know if you've done that before. Good Springs.
Which one?
Good Springs.
Is that the one with the like the statue as a ghost pointing this way?
I think so. Yeah.
Like the whole ghost, like it's fenced off. Some of it, they have a hotel that's
yeah. It's out that way. So if you go south on the 15 and get off towards
like a dirt road for a minute too, right?
Yeah.
I went there.
It's a cool area out there.
Cool.
It's a fun time out there. So that's a huge thing. And I know I have a lot of friends who come here and they don't even think about that. And we grew up doing 4-buying stuff like that in Washington, but it's a different kind of 4-buying where you're out in the pastures and the woods and shit like that. This is straight desert. Like
that's more muddy up in the Washington area.
Yeah.
I can relate back east. More mud involved, not just dirt. If you're out here.
All right, so back to Vegas. There's those courses that you've done, and I know you go quite a bit. Do you have like a kind of a go-to what not to do type thing for tours who want to come down and golf? Like if you could tell tourists to come down, pick a course that's easy for them to get on here in Vegas, and kind of like the do's and don'ts. I mean, since you are kind of more of someone who does it all the time.
I mean, if you're from out of state, if you can find someone that's local to get you in-state pricing, that would be my number one way to go. And if you want to pay for me to go, and then I can get you Nevada local rate, I'm just saying I'm not going to be opposed, so maybe you should hit me up. And to compare it, it's some of the courses will charge $300 for out of state versus $70 for in state, and they don't check all the IDs. I can buy it online, then be on our way. And so if we come with 3 rental clubs, we may have an issue, but I have multiple sets of clubs too, so we can solve that problem one way or another. I highly recommend finding a local to take you to a course.
Do you typically pregame before you hit the course, or do you go straight up?
Well, I usually get there at 6 a.m. So it's hard to pregame. I'm usually waking up, getting some coffee in. Now, get to the course and say, let's get an Irish coffee. Okay, I'm in. It is hard to pregame for 6 a.m. tee times. Now, if it's midday, I'm probably drinking at some point. Or going there, having lunch first, have a drink with lunch to get started that way. The good thing is the cart girls tend to come around pretty frequently on the courses, so you don't have to worry about going too far without a drink.
I remember when we went, the cart came around and we bought up quite a bit of the Fireball between who was with us. So yeah, that was fun. That was enjoyable for me. So
Which course did we put?
I have no idea, dude. I have no idea.
Where was it?
East side of Vegas. On the other side.
Was it with a bunch of bunkers? Right? No water, bunkers, and then there was all those houses on the back 9. So that course actually just closed down. One of my favorite courses.
What?
What was it called? It was called Royal Links. And so every hole was designed to be after a links course, which golfers know that's a Scottish and Irish term for like, I don't even know really how to describe it. Just we kind of know what it looks like.
Okay, that makes sense now. I remember that.
Essentially, there is no water. Out of all 18 holes, there's 0 water. However, there are 118 bunkers. And when I say bunkers, we're not talking the little shallow ones that are easy to get in and out of. No, we're talking ones that are taller than our friend Ryan here, that when you're into, you can't see over, and you're hoping for the best. Half the time, I would just turn around, flop out of there, and take the stroke as a loss. Because once you're in these bunkers, unless you're an actual pro of getting out of these bunkers, you're not getting out. And I've seen many people take 10 strokes inside of one bunker because they're just so steep and the wall is in your face. I mean, there's the wall. Figure it out.
So he says that because he's a lot taller than me. So, how tall are you anyways? Like
6'4".
6'4". Jesus.
6'1".
Tall ginger. Sorry, offensive. I know, it's offensive.
How dare you me?
Yeah, when we hang out, it's weird. So they closed that course. Okay, because I remember when we went, again, I'm a horrible golfer, everybody, and I'm a lefty, so it's even worse for me because it's hard for me to find clubs. But I remember the back 9, there was a guy sitting outside, and I shanked it over and hit the top of his house, and he just stared at me. And, sorry, I don't.
Should have put your house there.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but damn, dude, damn.
What's that?
I wonder how many windows get broken like every year by golf.
Honestly, surprisingly enough, I mean, I've been golfing my whole life. I've only broken the window in my own backyard.
That's okay. I have no follow up to that. So
when you're young, you're trying to figure things out. Young me thought it would be a good idea to aim at the house. So
every course that you've been on, have they offered a cart to drive around in?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Even high-end courses will offer carts.
Yeah. Okay. Because I know for a while. Well, I was saying I know for a while because I know one of my cousins who will be on here when at one of the golf courses she worked at. I know for a bit they didn't, but that was again during the pandemic. I think it was the whole issue.
Yeah, because I think Vegas has a surplus of carts. What it was is we were able to just keep them going. I mean, I played all through the pandemic and never had an issue there. If they told me I had to walk, I'd be fine in the next course.
When I know there was the 4 of us, and they gave us, because of the pandemic, they gave us each our own cart.
And that's what it was. That was their solution to keep people social distancing. The only way you could ride together is if you could prove you came from the same residence, which was a pain in the ass because, I mean, you typically don't.
Right, yeah. We're all,
Yeah, right? We're grown adults. So, yeah, but it was cool. It just, the downfall was, they lowered the tee times because they can't have as many people on the course when they have all the carts spread out now. So they physically can't, which maybe when people started walking because they just didn't have cart capacity anymore. Mm-hmm. Granted, I was never told I can't walk or can't ride in a cart. But then the other thing they did, they put like the styrofoam noodles from like pools. So they cut them up, and inside the hole, they would put it so when your ball dropped in, rather than go all the way in, it would kind of sit.
That's right.
Out.
That's right.
You would never touch the flag stick to avoid your germs from being spread.
That's right. I remember that now. Yeah, that's right. I remember that being really, really odd because before that, I had golfed before prior. Again, not good. I've just done it. But I remember that being really weird seeing. I was like, I don't understand.
The stupid thing that came from it was because it was called COVID rules. So if you putt too hard and your ball hit it and bounced out because it couldn't technically fall in the cup, that was considered in. But we all know there are many times where you hit your ball too hard and it looks out or does whatever and it doesn't go in the cup. I hated that rule because
very competitive.
I'm not good, but I'm a stricter when it comes to the rules. We will not be playing. There's no gimmies. You're not fluffing your lie. I give you the break, Ryan, because I understand. But if you're playing competitively against me, we're playing by the rules.
I remember you guys giving me a break because I was the only one who hadn't like golfed in years. The 3 of you had, and I remember one of the first like few holes. I remember it bouncing off a tree, coming back to where I was standing, and you guys you're like, okay, fine, do over, it's fine. So
we know where people deserve their mulligans. So,
but then again, But the thing is, though, Dwayne, is like you say you're not good, but of all the guys that we've played with and all the friends that we have, you're one of the better ones of the group, anyways. So
I know, but I'm not good. Like
yeah, I'm
better than most. Yes.
What's your handicap?
It's like 20, which is not good.
It's
over 20, I think.
So of all the courses that you've done a lot of courses here, obviously in Las Vegas. What's one course that you want to play on that you haven't got to play that you're like you really would want to try?
So there's 3 overall. I wouldn't say it's 3. I did just cross one off, which would not be part of the 3, which is across the street, Las Vegas Country Club. The reason this one's on the list is for those that know anything about Las Vegas and some of the history, and you have seen the movie Casino, you may recognize the movie some, because this is the course where the FBI was flying around looking for him, and he crashed their plane into the lake. And that's the actual course it happened on. So they have a plane replica on one of the holes, which is the lake they crashed it into. And I've always wanted to play the course. It's a private course, technically. One of my friends does have a membership over there, and I finally got to play it not too long ago. It was great. It was a great time. If you ever get the chance to play it, play it. Obviously, it's harder because you got to know somebody that has a membership. I can't help you there. But do recommend it. Now, as far as the courses that I also want to play that are public, Cascada is probably number 1 right away. And the reason for it is it's one of those other courses that are carved into like a canyon. It's just outside like Boulder City, I want to say, which is 30, 45 minutes probably from the Strip for those that are outside. It's $3.99, I want to say, for a round. However, you get a caddy that goes with you, which they tell you everything about it from my understanding. They tell you when you're on the greens, they say putt here. As long as you putt there, your ball's going in for the most part. They may find your ball at some point near a bottle of tequila or something along those lines in the rough. So it's things like that I just want to go see the course, play it, because it looks amazing. Honestly, it really does. Maybe for my birthday even. Who knows? Because it's going to run up. So maybe Ryan. Another course that I really want to play, though, would be I still need to – I can't remember if I played Rio Seco, which is the degenerate me. Because there's like a 50-50 feeling that I may have had a chance. I played it once, but if I have, I've only played it once, and I need to play it again because I need to remember playing it. So that one's like 3rd. And then there is one more, which is there's 2 more. Southern Highlands is another great course, which is in more by where's that by? It's heading towards the dam, that area.
Okay.
Dam. And so it's a super private course, but I know somebody with a membership over there. They're just holding out. It's supposed to be really nice, and I'm just working my way to finally play the course. The other one, though, is a pretty exclusive course. It's well-known, Shadow Ridge, which is hidden inside of North Vegas. I was going to say some words in front of it because North Vegas is not a great part of town. Yeah. Where they put this course is even worse. You're just like, when you see it on TV, because they played the match there with Phil Mickelson not too long ago.
That's right.
This is green as can be. It's got trees lining every single fairway. It is in the slums of North Las Vegas near the base, Air Force Base. However, it's somewhat hard to get into unless you're an executive for MGM. Then you can get in a little bit. I think it's like $1,000 though to pay your way to go. But then you get the whole weekend to stay at MGM. They drive you out there. They drive you back. It's a whole experience. Maybe
that'd be cool.
Maybe that'd be really cool. Okay.
Damn. Have you played Spanish Ridge? I know that one's, or Spanish Trails, I mean.
Spanish Trails is also a private course. I've not played that course. I've not played private courses many.
Considering the fact of what we do for a living, you think we would know more people to do that. So it's hilarious.
I know someone that has a membership over there too, actually. It's actually what I'm focusing on this year is trying to golf more with people in the real estate industry, which is what I do. So I'm a loan officer. Just going to plug, licensed in California, Nevada, Colorado, Texas, Oregon, Florida, Kentucky, and Ohio. So if you guys are looking for a mortgage, let me know. And Nevada, of course.
And I'll say, I was going to let you plug this at the end, but we'll go ahead and do it right now. Dwayne is my lender. He's one of the only people I trust in this town. So I recommend him very highly. So hit me up, hit him up. He'll give you a great deal. He does great freaking work, I'll tell you now. And he knows so many people in this town. You'll find your home that you want. That's for damn sure. So
I appreciate you.
Yeah, of course, man. I got you. So yeah, I mean, besides that, the golfing, thing, is there anything else you want to say about golf? Because I have another topic I want to cover. But in the golf world, there's something else that you want to throw out there, something that
so for the tourist side of things, if we're going to talk about golf, the most probably notable thing to do, you should be able to know it too, Topgolf.
Yeah.
So if you're going to come in town and you don't want to go to a golf course, but you want to hit some golf balls and see the strip in the background, go to Topgolf, go at night, make sure you're on the third floor, as long as everyone's 21 and over. If you're not, second floor. The first floor is just not as fun, let's be honest. If you can get on the fourth floor, it's a lot more fun. And if you get your own little private bay, even better than the fifth floor, hey, do your thing. But third and fourth floor is where it's at.
So what is it, the fourth floor that has the pool? Or is that the third floor?
Third floor is where the pool starts.
Okay.
Fourth floor is like another side of it, and then fifth floor is like executive.
Right, yeah.
That you're paying.
But I remember one of the best things about Topgolf, and I don't know if they do this everywhere, but we went and saw Sublime with Rome at that time a couple years ago. That was a really fun time. Yeah.
Not only did we see them, but their venue is so small that we were on stage essentially.
Basically, yeah, we were right there. We were standing right there.
That was a great time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And the staff there is amazing. I've gone there a lot. Being a local here in Las Vegas, they kind of give you deals on great golf times in the weekdays. So if you have the time off to go do it, and I remember me and Skip did it quite a bit, and they took care of us. They got to know us. They took really good care. Great staff, great drinks. And it was just a lot of fun. Topgolf is a lot of fun. Even if you aren't a great golfer, it's just fun to go hit the ball,
So I'll talk on that. So I golf, as we know. We took me and my dad also golfs. We took my mom and my sister one time to Topgolf. Now me and my dad trying to, show off some. All we're doing, aiming for that back wall, baby. Nonstop. Let's go. However, my mom and my sister had this interesting strategy. They would aim for the target that is all of 5 feet away in front of you. Mm-hmm. They would never miss. Me and my dad would miss. Now, when you keep when you keep making the shot, you get bonuses and your points double up. Right. So sure enough, as me and my dad are trying to long bomb it for the most points, they're just racking up the small points to double up. Guess who wins? Not me and my dad. They win.
So for everybody who doesn't know, Topgolf has a bunch of games rigged into it, and there are different circled rings, colored rings, size rings on that. I don't know, what would you call it, the driving range, I guess, more than anything.
Yeah, driving range.
And each one's different. And the closest one is, if I remember right, it's red and it's smaller, but they're worth like 5-10 points depending on what game you're playing.
Exactly. Yep.
And then there's green, blue,
yellow.
And the different sizes as you go far out. That's right, brown. And if you hit it in that same spot, yeah, your points, you're accumulating a lot faster, which is hilarious that they beat you at your own game. That's so great.
Yeah, it's rough. But then if I want to turn it up, then I turn on the skill challenge. You got to aim for certain circles now, and then it's all over. Yeah.
I remember I got better at driving the ball when we were there because we did it so much the first year of the pandemic. We did it a lot. Like I think there was times we were going 5 days a week for a while there.
Well, it's because Skip had that during the summers, they let the locals get it for like $100 for unlimited play.
And they're doing it again, supposedly,
during
this year. During the weekdays, it's Monday through Friday, from open until like 6, I think. And it's you and 4 people, enough to fill a bay. And it was like $120-$200 for the summer. And it was amazing.
Such a deal.
It was such a deal. So if everyone has a Topgolf, look into that, because we found out that it's transferable to other Topgolfs as well. So when he was traveling for work, he got to do it at other places.
I did that. That's really cool.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Topgolf's fun, but the nighttime, even though it is more expensive at night, it is amazing because the strip is right there next to you.
You get the same view that you have back there, essentially, with a little different, I guess. No fountains, but
right, because you're on the other side. You're on the east side of the strip.
You're coming down from MGM side.
Yeah, but it's a lot of fun, so much fun. Great time, music playing, people. It's just all good. So I highly recommend that spot for those people out there who like to golf, don't like to golf, just want something to do.
Yeah, you don't like to golf. It's a great spot to go. They have heaters for wintertime. That way you're never really feeling out of temperature. You can just have a good time there. Good food. Get the little donut holes with the jelly.
Yeah. So the past few episodes, and this will put it in perspective, I've talked about my friend who is the vegetarian of the group, and Dwayne is the vegetarian of the group. This guy right here, talk about some of the greatest food I've ever had. I know on Rachel's episode a couple weeks ago, we talked about Nacho Daddy and how you introduced me to the avocado tacos, which is still one of the greatest things I've ever had. So Nacho Daddy, I know that's a place that we go to occasionally. It's a spot that we've hung out. You're a fan of it, I take it? Because, I mean, I know I don't drag you there.
I mean, I haven't been to Nacho Daddy in a while now, honestly. And the only reason for that is I haven't been to Fremont in a while. Mm-hmm. Nor have I been to, where is it on the strip?
Was that Planet Hollywood?
Planet Hollywood area. Because I've been to the summer location. It's trash. Don't recommend it. Sorry, summer location. It's not good. The Fremont location is easily the best one because typically if you're going there, you've had a couple drinks, and it's the best.
It's hard for me to go to that one now with that White Castle right next door. I'm like, what do I pick?
Perks of being the vegetarian, I walk right past White Castle. I see that line, I was like, bye.
It's crazy in there.
But yes, those avocado tacos are to kill for. They are deep fried avocados in little tortillas. And the words don't describe how good they truly are. And since then, I mean, Tacotarian, which is it's a full vegan taco place here in town. They have a Baja Taco, which is a fried avocado taco. Mm-hmm. It doesn't quite hit the spot the same. When they first opened, they did, but they've changed something. Unfortunately, sorry, Tacotarian also. I love you guys still. But their Baja Taco doesn't hit like the Nacho Daddy fried avocado tacos do. And
where's this place at? I don't think I've ever heard of it.
Tacotarian?
Yeah.
So the OG location is Casino Center in Charleston, kind of near me. And then they opened one in Summerlin off of Fort Apache, I want to say.
So Summerlin's northwest Las Vegas, really, more than anything, like west Las Vegas.
Yeah, right? North or southwest. But let's take the whole side, I guess. All just west.
All just west.
Then they have another location that they just opened somewhere. I can't remember where. But it's all vegan. Everything is in there. They have the fake meat and stuff, which if you guys know me, I'm not going after fake meat. Mm-hmm. So I can't give you any recommendation there. But they do have good food overall. I do recommend the Dorado taco, which is like a fried potato taco. Give me all of that. And then the habanero salsa. Make sure you get the habanero salsa because the flavor is banging.
So, okay. So this is like one of those things to where people go out golfing. If you go out to the west side, go into the Summerlin area and golf, it's a good spot to stop. I would imagine people would want to go there. Downtown Summerlin's a great spot because over there is where the baseball stadium is as well for our minor league team. AAA team. So the Aviators, it's, a cool spot. That whole area is amazing.
Honestly, it's much better than our previous stadium that we had, Cashman. Hands down. It's probably one of the better minor league stadiums that I've acknowledged.
I would have to agree with that. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because the seats alone are the mesh seats. So when Vegas heat kicks in, you're not going to burn yourself sitting there. They have gourmet food rather than just concession stand food. They actually have chefs they bring in for games that they will cater certain food types.
Isn't that only on the upstairs though? Or is that downstairs too?
It's just upstairs.
That's upstairs. Okay. Yeah. In the club level or whatever. And honestly, the prices for the minor league stadium isn't bad. It's fairly cheap. So pay out for the club level seats because it's
every time.
Awesome. Every time.
The club level, you get AC, which if you're going to a baseball game and anytime after April, you're going to want that AC because the way the stadium is facing, you will be in the sun for the most of the game if you're in third base side.
Yeah.
first base, I want to see you have coverage for a little, or maybe vice versa. Actually.
It's the other way around. First base side's facing west.
Yeah. So if you're on third base, you're a little bit more shielded. First base, you're going to be in the sun. But if you're in the club, don't worry about it because you have AC, you have a private bar, you have a buffet option, you have food. Worth it.
So the other thing that I want to bring up as well, because there's a few other bars I want to talk about that you and I have done together. But the other thing, one of the funnest things that we've done, and I haven't got to talk about yet, is the Golden Knights game, our hockey team here. People who come to Vegas, if you come to visit, or if you're a local, go to a hockey game at T-Mobile Arena. You can get really lucky with tickets, and yeah, go Knights. And it's one of not only the greatest stadiums I've ever been in for hockey or for any sport, but you can get really lucky with tickets. And if you don't get lucky with tickets, one of the best things that we've done, and it was totally a last-minute decision, was the standing room only. So what was it? Was you pay a price? So for everyone, you pay a price. You go up there, and it's all you can drink of the beer that they have, wine, and then food, which was their snacks. And I think there was nachos, popcorn.
Yeah, basic food, nothing crazy, but basic.
But like stadium type, quick eat type stuff. And Dwayne and I decided last minute to go check out these tickets. And there's not a bad spot to watch the game at all in that stadium, in that arena. And I remember us watching it, and we drank our weight. We drank enough beer to cover the price of it.
Easily. Honestly, I've done that multiple times, and it has never failed. That is almost one of my favorite ways to enjoy a Knights game, even though you don't get to sit down, which everyone knows I love to sit down and do whatever because I may not be huge, but I like to be lazy sometimes, especially if I'm going to watch a sport, watch a concert. I don't want to stand typically. However, when you are at the Knights game and you are in the standing room section, getting the free drinks, getting the free food, and everybody around you is doing the same thing, it's a party from the start of the game, probably before the game actually, until after the game. Because before the game starts, you start talking to everybody that's up there, figuring out what's going on, who you're going to talk to throughout the game, who you're next to, stuff like that, trying to fight for your spot to be up front, that you're not standing behind nothing. And the one time me and Ryan went, they gave us a little beating sticks. Still have my room. I was beating Ryan to death the entire game because they glowed up. We were just fucking hitting each other, having little battles. I asked our guy for all of them. Basically, I still have a gaggle of them in my room.
Also, had the security. Yeah, that's right. The guy did hook us up with them.
Friends with them. Yeah, I wanted certain colors. Like I need all the colors.
That's right.
But yeah, then you get the free drinks, which, like Ryan said, free drinks on the bottomless drinks. You know, we're going to look for the bottom every single time, and we're going to keep scraping because we don't believe it's bottomless.
Well, and the funny thing is, though, the night we went, they actually ran out of certain beers. The ones that we were drinking, they ran out before like the beginning of the third period.
Yeah, it wasn't long in.
No. And everyone up there was pretty smashed. The only downside that I have to tell everyone is to be careful is because it's such a steep walk up the stairs from the concourse. So you're straight up and you're at the very, very top. There's nothing behind you. You're at the very top of this thing. So just be smart. Be careful about it. Use the handrails. I mean,
I don't sit in the 200 section because of how steep it is and you don't get cup holders. Mm-hmm. But I will party in the standing section every single time. And the funny thing is the one time I was with other friends and we were at the row right in front of them. Mm-hmm. So we were sitting and the guys in front of us kind of like kicking us, hey, you guys want drinks? And they would just feed us drinks. We would give them like $5. They would just feed us drinks all night. So even if you don't want to pay the premium to sit up top, maybe or stand up top, maybe just sit up top and you get some free drinks that way.
Well, I remember, and I don't know, maybe we won't get the guy in trouble because we don't know. We didn't never said his name, but I remember we hooked him up with, we gave him water and soda because he couldn't drink beer, obviously, as he's working. But remember, we hooked him up because they don't get it free. They work
get nothing, yeah.
So we hooked him up. So it's it's actually a really smart idea. I love it.
Honestly, so Vegas tip, which is it's a 101 to Vegas. Tip anybody. Mm-hmm. Anybody that's going to provide any kind of service, give them food, give them money, give them drinks, unopened food, unopened drinks, sorry. But show that you're going to go one step further because You may not think much of it, but no one else is going to do much for these people, especially something like just give them basic stuff, because whether it be give your attendant some food or a snack, say, hey, thanks for everything you do.
Right.
They may give you something out of it, or maybe they give you nothing, but it's karma. I believe in some good karma in a sense. What goes around comes around, and we kind of found that out that night because we treated the guy like a king, and he gave us everything we asked for.
Yeah, he hooked us up.
He even told us, because he gave me his number. I have his number saved.
Yeah.
That if we ever wanted to come back and we didn't have the ticket, he would let us up.
Yeah.
So I have his number saved in my phone. So if I'm ever in that area, I would definitely hit him up to say, hey, remember when? Because I'm coming through. So it goes along with a tip.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Tips, 100%. Anywhere you go in Las Vegas, they will take care of you. I think a lot of people forget that is not only are they're working for tips because they're not paid the best, but here in Las Vegas, they do take care of you. Not only just for the karma, but the fact that if you tip someone, they're going to go above and beyond to help you out, whether it be a waitress who comes back quicker with your drinks, brings you more than one drink.
Which, unfortunately, that standard has changed. You can no longer just give $1 for quick service to come back if you're at a slot machine.
Yeah.
If you want to do quick service, give them that $5 or a $10 chip, and they'll be back within 5 minutes. Give them a $1 chip, you'll see them in 20, 30 minutes.
And that was something that we learned when I moved here, 6 years ago, whatever, was even was $2, $3 a drink. And if you did it consistently with the same person, they'd come back quicker.
Exactly.
So I think you learn fairly quickly that if you have singles on you, and I always carry singles on me. Now that I live here, it's something that I learned I had to do. But the other thing I want to say about T-Mobile Arena that people should know, and it's risky. If you are down in that New York area, beer house, whatever, and you're just chilling and there is a game that night, if you don't have tickets and you're iffy about wanting to go, wait until puck drop. Sometimes, or right before the game starts, sometimes you get lucky. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when the Knights made the playoffs, the first playoff game, we waited until puck drop, and we got, I think they were like maybe $100.
They were $100 because remember, my friend was 3 seats away from us. Right. And we had no idea. So to give us some perspective before I go in that part, we were 3 rows from the ice on a corner.
Right behind the goal. Yeah, right next to the goal.
Yeah. We paid $100 for what was it, the second or third playoffs game of the first season?
It was the one we went to when we did that. It was game 1. It was the first game of the playoffs.
The hype was insane. So my friend was 2-3 seats away from us, a row in front of us. Actually, no, he was in the same row.
He was in our row.
He was in the same row. He was selling his tickets initially for $700. Now, granted, obviously no one really bought them because he was still there, but that's what they were going for roughly because he had been selling for a reason at that price. Whereas me and Ryan waited last second and copped them for $100 a piece. Once we saw them, we didn't even wait. We just took them and walked right. We were sitting at a beer house. I remember that moment.
Yeah.
We had beers in our hand, and we were both refreshing, just kind of figuring out because we were struggling. We're going to watch the game either way. We're going to either sit out front because they have a TV, or back then they always had the TV broadcasting the games right out front with fans that would watch it. So either way, we're going to watch it with fans, whether it be inside or outside. And we kept refreshing, and sure enough, on AXS, the app, we found it. Well, we just got drinks from that bar that's right, whatever that bar is called. I'll just shout them out. But right there, we're just sitting there refreshing our apps, and sure enough, we find those tickets for $100.
Pounded our beers and ran right in.
I wouldn't even think about it. Yeah, instantly, we walked right in, just knocked them back, and we were done. And the best night. And
honestly, because of where that stadium is even if you don't get tickets, Beer House has all those TVs to watch it.
Yep.
Inside New York, at the Circle Bar in the middle, there's all those TVs to watch it. So you have options to watch the game if you can't get in. And there are the cheaper seats in the 200, in the upper sections, obviously. But sometimes you can get lucky and get right on the ice, or it's 3 rows back like we did for cheap. So it's worth the risk, especially if you don't have anything planned right then.
I will say that any sporting event you go to in Vegas is not going to be like your hometown prices, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We are a premium price city for whatever reason, but it's worth it because we don't do normal hockey games. We don't do normal football games. The level of energy is through the roof through the entire time. And it's just Vegas-ized the entire time. Now, the half times, maybe you'll see a Cirque du Soleil show. Maybe the Blue Man Group will come out. There's been many times with the women's basketball team, who would have thought, halftime was the Blue Man Group over and over again. Saw them probably 40 times watching the women's basketball team, the Aces.
Well, and that was the other thing is, that, you're the only person that I've gone to quite a few WNBA games with, and we've sat courtside and got to hang out and go into the back and get food and drinks from, the club. And so it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
There is so much Vegas has to offer. And for those that think negatively on the women's basketball because of whatever reason you want to give me, just go to one game. And if you're going to go to one game, go to the Aces games here in Vegas because it's fun. I've not been to a women's basketball team or game in any other city, so I can't talk on those cities how they do it. But I do know that we do it fun here. We have good energy. It's worth it. It's actually good basketball.
Oh, yeah.
Don't talk negatively about it by any means.
Well, then again, one of my favorite players in the WNBA is Kelsey Plum. And so, giant fan, and we'll talk about that more later because she's getting married this weekend. But so the last thing I want to talk about before we call it a night, one of my favorite bars that we've gone to, and I've been really excited to talk about it, that you took me to. It's off the strip a little ways, but it's completely worth it because it's not strip prices. It's cheap. It's never packed. At least when I've been there, I know sometimes you've gone, it's a little busy, but Parkway Tavern on Flamingo is incredible. It's what, only a couple years old now. They just rebranded that to a Parkway Tavern not too long ago because it wasn't a Parkway Tavern.
That one's new. It's 2-3 years. I think it opened during COVID. And they've expanded already. And the cool thing with this Parkway, Parkway Tavern, for those that don't know, is kind of like our local bar. One of them, I guess. We have 2 or 3. The chain bars that we have throughout the city. Parkway Taverns cater to be more of the fun bars you go to have a good time. Like we have the Parkway and Flamingo, which is kind of catered towards the club crowd in a sense, where at night it becomes a club. But this one's trying to compete with it in a sense where they want all the games to go with it. So what they've expanded onto it is they have the whole now side edition with there's no gaming tops, but they have board games in there. They have beer pong set up. They have arcade games set up in there. And so it's cool that they're kind of catering to that crowd. And I know that they're working on getting Axe Thrown in there, as well as Golf Simulator. So they're trying to basically take everything from all the parkways throughout the city and put it into this one because the location of this parkway is really good since it's all 10 minutes away from the strip. Flamingo and Decatur, it's super easy to get in and out of. The whole staff is great. The food's good for bar food. It's not A1 food, but it's going to get you satisfied.
Right. For amount of the bars that I've gone to and eaten food, there's only one place that I would say that's better, and that is Steiner's and the food for me. But Parkway Tavern, that one has every single time that food has been on point. Never bad, and the service is incredible. They've always taken care of us there. The bartenders are hilariously funny.
Definitely. It's a great time.
It is a good time.
If you're a Raiders fan, the bar will be packed in your favor. If you're a Chargers fan, the bar will also be packed in your favor. If those games are competing, however, in the same day, you guys will have some tension. I'm just going to say it because I've heard it. I'm a Raiders fan by adoption. Unfortunately, I'm a Bengals fan at heart. So, not unfortunately anymore. But anytime before that, I'm upset to be a Bengals fan. I guess I'm happy finally to be a Bengals fan for the couple of years. We'll see how it goes. But Raiders, I do love support all my home teams. Big fan.
So Parkway Taverns too, and I wanted to get this out. So the one that you were talking about, the other one that's on Flamingo and the 215, very, very west side of the town. And that one is cool. It's really nice on the inside. Don't get me wrong, I like it. But it also has that outside seating with a bar, which is really cool. And that's unique because the one that we go to doesn't have that. This one that we go to is all inside.
Right.
Granted, it's brand new and it looks brand new still, and it's amazing. So those two Parkway Taverns are my favorite in town. But The club one is more directed towards the college kid age.
100%. Now that's the one I know somebody that's gotten their fake ID taken away from it. So if he watches this, he'll know who he is. He tried to show up there with a fake ID. They didn't have that game. Not a chance. That Parkway is cool. It's not really my scene, unfortunately. I'm not a club person. It's cool before that hour. Once you go past 11 p.m., it's a fun vibe though. If like I know people that work there, so nothing negative towards it. Honestly, and when Ryan Reeves was still playing for the Knights, he would often go bartend over there. So, and I think it's still the Knights bar. So every now and then you'll see the players at that bar. So it's still a fun spot. Highly recommend it. I've done my own personal events over there for a happy hour, where I hosted a happy hour at that same Parkway. So again, much love for Parkway Tavern. They always treat locals really well. And if you're out, not even a local, they're going to treat you the same. It's nothing but a good local bar to go to.
My cousins, who two of my cousins, they go there quite frequently with their friends, and they love it. And they talk it up. Granted, they're 24, 25 years old, so that's really their scene. But for those that come to visit, you're early 21, you want to get off the strip, which is, I know a lot of people don't want to leave the strip, but there are cool shit. And if you go to that place, there's a lot of UNLV college kids who go there. That is kind of one of their spots. So I highly recommend it for everyone out there that wants to check it out.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when you're in that same age group, it's no different than going to Fremont past the Slaughterzilla, where all the clubs are down there. Commonwealth, you got Corduroy.
It's right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Evil Pie.
Yeah, well, that's pizza, but
I know, but still, like if you go there while it's busy at night, that place is packed.
Very true. Honestly, if you try to go to Eagle Pie at 2 or 3 in the morning, good luck. Get in line.
Yeah, for real. I've tried that before, and you're gonna stand in line. And I mean, there's a line outside down the sidewalk sometimes.
It is worth every minute of the wait. And have you been to Good Pie though yet?
Yes, I have.
Oh,
yes, I have.
Also great.
What was the pizza place inside in between Mandalay and Luxor that we've gone to?
It's not called Slice of Vegas, is it?
Oh yeah. That's exactly what it is. Yeah. So that was pretty good. The pizzas there are pretty good, but it's especially if you're not gonna go eat, you can walk up and get your pizza and beer right there.
The best thing with that pizza was back in the day, they used to have a habanero cheese pizza. They got rid of it though, I think. However, Red Dwarf, huge shout out to Red Dwarf, my favorite Detroit style pizza ever, hands down.
I don't think I've had that. We'll have to check that out.
It's a dive bar. The definition of a dive bar. It's owned by a guy I used to know that worked at Astronomy Ale Works, which is another little local bar on by Henderson. But it's not in a great part of town, just kind of all 5-10 minutes away from me. But the food inside is great. It's a tiki bar atmosphere. So you walk inside, it's just got that kind of vibe to it. The bar top is lined with record tops. So basically you see all the covers for records. They have live bands that show up on the weekends. They do surf and brunch on Sundays. But again, the best Detroit style pizza you've ever had will come from Red Dwarf Pizza.
I have to go check that out.
Let's go together, without a doubt.
All right, so we've run pretty long tonight, but what I wanted to say for everyone is Dwayne is going to be a reoccurring guest on this show. Him and I hang out quite often, and we go do new shit all the time. We actually have a few comedy shows that we want to talk about on our next episode. We have a few other bars that we've gone to, so we want to split it up because it's already been almost an hour show. But so we have other things to talk about, and we again probably going to go hang out this weekend, go watch the minor league game. Or the weekend after that, because we go, we see concerts all the time or go do shit. One of us is always doing something. So before we go for the night, Dwayne, I know we already mentioned it, but I want you to go ahead and plug yourself again. Kind of tell everybody about what you do and yeah.
Yeah, so I'm a loan officer for mortgages. For those that don't know, that's for getting a home loan, whether it be buying the home, refinancing it, pay off some debt. I can help you there. The states I am personally licensed in would be Ohio, Kentucky, Colorado, not Arizona, Florida, Texas, Oregon, California, and Nevada. So if it's any of those 8 states, I can personally help you in. If it's not in those states, I can refer you to somebody that can help you within my company. My cell phone number is 661-902-3041. It's public information. Obviously, I don't really care. So hit me up if you have any questions. You want to go golf? That was my number, personally, my cell phone number. So call me, text me, whatever it may be.
Again, and I will highly refer everyone to Dwayne. He's did such a great job on, helping me buy my condo, refinancing my condo, all these great things that Dwayne has done for me. I almost spilled drink everywhere. That was close. So I highly recommend Dwayne. And not only that, but he's hella fun to hang out with and knows a lot of good food spots. So for those of you who are vegetarian, reach out to Dwayne. He'll know that. If you follow me on social media, I'll tag Dwayne before this post so you guys will know. He's a really cool dude. And Dwayne, I really appreciate you coming on and bullshitting with me tonight.
I appreciate you.
I'm excited.
I'm looking forward to doing this multiple times.
Dude, we have so many stories that we have yet to talk about.
Right. I was trying to ramble for another 2 hours. I won't lie.
I could same. But the thing is, you're even my recurring. So we got a lot of shit to talk about.
Exactly.
We filled a lot in for this hour tonight, with the golf and the bars and the few things that we have done. And those are just the highlights. And a lot of that stuff we talked about were Vegas things, close to the strip, on the strip, some off, but there are a few things that we will talk about in future episodes that are not on Las Vegas Strip and not on Fremont. There are a lot of things that are really close to where I live, on the west side of town that we go do. It's just a lot to do in this town. So we'll talk about a lot more in later episodes.
And we didn't even touch on some of the debauchery that we get into. So
I know
we have a lot to get into.
We do have a lot to talk about. The first thing that came to mind too was the beach and the concerts that we've gone to at the beach and the bullshit we had pulled there.
Right.
So we'll have you back on soon. This will be a recurring thing. But again, Dwayne, thank you so much for being here tonight.
Much appreciated.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, everybody. And thank you for joining us on Beyond the Neon Veil. Again, I'm Cousin Ryan, and this is my really good friend, Dwayne Workman. And we will see you guys next time.